A society to have order and to protect its citizens must have rules. Rules or laws are created and agencies are formed to enforce the rules. In the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. Our judicial system, our courts, have the task of determining guilt. When guilt is found, the courts mete out the consequences. If we follow the rules of our society, we may never have to face the bar of justice inside a criminal courtroom. Join us now as we see an actual Lake County court in session.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Miller. Could everyone, including visitors, please raise your right hands? Do each of you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this you do under the pains and penalty of perjury? Thank you. You can put your hands down. Each of you has a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. When you get to the microphone, I need to know if you're under 18. I need to know if you're not a citizen of the United States, because if you're not a citizen, pleading today could affect your immigration status. I need to know if you're on probation or parole, because pleading today could affect your probation or parole status. If you plead today, you're giving up your right to have a trial and to have an attorney represent you on that trial. If I sentence you today to a criminal case, you have mandatory costs you will have to pay. You'll have to go to room 105 and either pay them or sign up for the payment plan. The least those mandatory costs can be is $273. That's the minimum. If you have a battery charge, the minimum is $700, and it goes up from there. All right, we bring tape recorded today and videotaped. Okay, Joshua Teat. Mr. Teach, you are charged with marijuana and paraphernalia. Apparently you're in custody only on this misdemeanor. This says you were recommitted. You have some other...
Yeah, I just couldn't come up with the bond money.
But why were you recommitted?
I didn't come up with the bond money to pay the bondsman, so she recommitted me. Honey bill bonds.
Oh, okay. So they bonded you out and then put you back in when you hadn't paid off what you owed them. Gotcha.
Okay. I gave her, she gave me
gotcha. Mr. Sandor, what's the state's recommendation on Mr. T?
Your Honor, the state's offer is an adjudication of guilt. It's 29 days in the Lake County Jail with credit for time served and any gain time earned, and $105 in cost of investigation reimbursement to the Leesburg Police Department.
The problem is if we just do straight jail time, his license will be suspended.
If he would like to provide proof that he's completed a drug class within 180 days, the state would be fine with that.
Do you have a driver's license?
No, ma'am. I can get them back. I just don't have it. There's no way, no probation or nothing. I was supposed to start a new job come this Monday.
Not at this time, Your Honor. Based on the priors for each of the counts, the state's not offering probation.
What kind of priors?
For count 1, the marijuana possession, in 2002 he had a prior. In 2003 he had a cultivation prior. In 05 he had a prior. As to count 2, he has one in 03, 05, one in 2011 that was dropped, and one in 2012 that was dropped.
29 days, you said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sounds pretty generous to me, given that history.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so are you accepting it or saying not guilty and we'll appoint the public defender?
There's no probation available, no nothing like that.
The offer's 29 days. You can say not guilty and I'll appoint the public defender.
I'll take it.
All right, you're entering a no
contest. Does that count with the little bit of time I do have?
Yep. No contest. I find you guilty. I sentence you to 29 days. You get credit for any time you've done. And DL defendants, DL will be suspended if no proof of drug class by, we'll say August 1st. By August 1st. If you don't care about your driver's license, fine, it'll be suspended for 2 years if I don't have proof of a drug class by August 1st.
Okay.
DL will be suspended if no proof of drug class by August 1st for 2 years. All right, this is Mr. Teed. He's entering a no contest plea. I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor's at the microphone. Mr. Taylor's charged with driving while license suspended. He has an amazingly wonderful driving record for a very long time. The issue is he was supposed to report to have his eyes checked.
Yes, ma'am. May I say something?
Yes, sir.
I didn't get a letter, certified letter, or anything saying I was supposed to do that, and so I explained that to the officer.
I totally believe you. So what are we going to do now? Have you gone and gotten your eyes tested?
Well, I went to the motor vehicle, and they gave me this form right here. You want to look at it?
Could you show the prosecutor?
And so I went to an eye doctor with the help of my fiance back here, and they gave me an eye test, and I got it right here.
Show the prosecutor, please.
Okay. So I did what driver's license.
Looks like, Your Honor, that the medical examiners have approved him to go get his license, so that's all we really need to do.
So when do you plan to do that?
Just as soon as you let me.
Today?
I'll have to make an appointment probably today and get it tomorrow the next day.
When do you want to come back and show me? 1 week, 2 weeks, a month?
Probably a month if it'd be okay.
Okay, so we'll continue this for a month. Defendant to get DL. Speedy trial is waived and it's continued till next month.
March 14th.
March 14th, 2013, 8 a.m. All right, wait for your paperwork today, then go get your driver's license and come back in a month and show me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
John Martin, please. Mr. Martin, thank you for dressing so respectfully for the court. Things are definitely not going well.
No.
Are you still on felony probation or you're off of it?
No, I'm off of
So you're not on any kind of probation?
any kind of probation.
Okay, well then that helps a little. I thought you were still
All
on.
my fines are paid off and everything. I'm completely done.
Even given your history, the state is recommending that I do not send you to jail today. So I know you're happy to hear that.
Yes, ma'am. There's some of that stuff that was dog medicine, wormer.
And some that
And I
wasn't.
don't even have a police report. They didn't give me a police report, so I really don't even, all I know is I got charged with a paraphernalia charge.
You need an attorney. Have you read this? Say what? Who's on first? What?
There's a lot going on.
And what's funny about it, there was one of the neighbors that rode a motorcycle into the
I just read it. It's very confusing how
I don't even know
neighbors.
how I got even involved in it.
Okay, I don't know how he could give permission to search your house. There are a lot of issues here. Do you need for me to appoint the public defender? Are you going to get a private attorney?
Probably a public defender.
If you own your own home, then technically.
I'm on total disability.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender. There'll be a $250 minimum charge for their services. Mr. Rogers, when you read the report, you'll be shaking your head too. Go talk to Mr. Rogers. Krista Jex, please. Good morning. Ms. Jex, you're charged with driving while license suspended. You're suspended because either you or your car was involved in a crash and there wasn't enough insurance to cover the damages.
No, I was saying yes, ma'am, and I was not certain that my license was even suspended at all.
Well, they suspended it in July because you hadn't taken care of the judgment. So what are you doing now?
I actually, when he pulled me over, I actually contacted, I think, the clerk of courts to get the information because I didn't know as to why my license was suspended. I got in contact with the office of Hyde and Ricky, I believe it is, and they stated that it was because I was being sued for $22,000 because the person who owned the car didn't have full insurance on the car, and I drove it and got into the accident. So it's like...
Did you have insurance on a different vehicle at the time?
My husband's vehicle, yes, he had insurance on it, in which I used to drive. I had just gotten back in the country, got my mom's car because he had to work, and then that's when I ended up getting in the accident.
I'm not sure I'm following you, but if you had insurance in your name...
No, it wasn't in my name. It was in my husband's name.
But were you a listed driver on your husband's car?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
No.
So you may need to talk to an attorney to get some help working this out.
Yes, I was wondering. And also, I was wondering in regards to, you know, for work and school or whatnot, there's nothing, no type of license that I'm able
You have to work out a payment plan
Okay.
with them. But this was from last July, and you told me you just got back in the country, so...
No. When I got in the accident in
Oh.
2009. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
2009, that's this old.
2009.
Well, they just suspended you last year, so no wonder you weren't aware of when they did it. Mr. Sandor, it doesn't have a date of notice that they sent. It says notice required by the statute given.
And not a date.
So I'm not sure how you'll be able to prove knowledge. At this point, are you willing to change it to a civil, or are we leaving it a criminal?
It's one of those, as first offense, if she is able to get a valid driver's license, we can do a civil at that time too, so.
Okay, I think I'm hearing we can continue this for 3 months, and if you come in here with a valid driver's license, we'll change this to a without knowledge.
Okay. So in order for me to be able to get a valid driver's license, I would have to go through...
Work something out with this judgment,
Okay.
begin a payment plan or something.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because that law firm has to tell Tallahassee to release your license.
In order for it to be reinstated. Okay. And there's no type of hardships or anything that's available.
I'm not an expert on that subject, but I don't think so.
She should be able to get a full-blown license once she gets
Right.
reinstated. They don't
Okay.
usually ask for the full amount. It is something like pay your arrears, get on a payment plan, something like that.
Okay.
Usually.
All right, you may want to talk to an attorney.
Okay.
So for right now, if you want to try that, we'll continue this 3 months for you to try to get your license.
Okay. That works.
Pending to get DL, and you're waiving speedy trial, and we're continuing it to May 1st, 2013, 8 a.m. Thank you, Miss Lisa.
You're welcome.
Even when you're not here, when I need a date, I look over there. Hey, she's not there. Jonathan Gergis, I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Gergis, you are charged with possession of a firearm.
Your Honor, this is a little bit of a confusing case. I did some digging on with regard to this one. He was charged with possession of a firearm while being named as a party to an injunction, not legally allowed to be in possession of firearms while he was hunting. With the help of Ms. Clements, we were able to determine that the injunction was dismissed by the petitioner. I'm good. The injunction was dismissed by the petitioner within the last couple of weeks. However, I haven't been able to contact the petitioner of the injunction myself in order to determine whether the state should go forward. He was in violation of the injunction at the time. Subsequent to that date, the injunction was dismissed. It is a 2008 injunction, so we just want to speak with her prior to either dismissing or going forward.
All right, it was an old injunction, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt for a moment, and let's say you thought it had run out. But most injunctions last forever until a judge stops them. Now, some injunctions say this is for a year or 2 years or whatever.
That's what I have the paper on right here. From the first date the injunction was, it says ended September 2nd of 08.
But then they did a permanent one. That was just the temporary one. You never got a copy of the permanent one?
No. What we had going on here, it was an injunction case when I was getting divorced. Child support was established in that same case. In the same case, I got 3 different papers where it says case was affiliated with different case numbers all the way up to the Department of Revenue, and my divorce case running off the same case. I mean, about 3 years ago, 2009, 2010, I was in here before for driving on suspended while I was hunting, had a rifle in the front seat, cop looked at it, ran the serial numbers, heard nothing of it. I've purchased firearms from Walmart and had background checks since 2008. So, I mean, I don't know if on paper it's all said and done and just not in the computers or how that's working, but.
Well, I suggest you say not guilty, don't get an attorney in unless you really, really want to, and let us check all the paperwork to see if this is a good charge.
Okay.
If when you come back next time, we say, here's the injunction, it said this, it was valid, then we're going to have to deal with that issue then.
My ex-wife, I mean, she found out about it because I called her up when I was talking to the game warden. She's like, no, this should be done. And we got together, put all our paperwork together. She's like, wait a minute, something didn't get done. So she ran up there because I got a 9-year-old son who loves to go hunting.
Okay, stop with the hunting because I don't like hunting, and the more I hear hunting, murdering innocent animals, the harder it is for me to be objective here. So the fact you're teaching your child to kill innocent animals even makes it worse. So I'm putting that aside here, and I'm suggesting that we put it off. We're going to enter not guilty on your behalf. We're going to look at the injunction and see if indeed the injunction said he wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, I have it. It says it. The question is whether or not.
Was it served on him?
Yes, Your Honor. I have it with me. However, there was a nonviolent injunction. He could have contact with the petitioner and things like that. It was a last-minute thing. I got it late from Volusia County.
But it was served on him.
Yes, Your Honor. But it doesn't mean the state wants to go forward.
I appreciate your open-mindedness, but how do we know that the permanent one was served on him? He only has the temporary one.
He only has it. It doesn't mean he wasn't served with it and never got a copy.
Okay, they're saying that they also served the permanent one on you. What date was the permanent one?
I've never had the permanent one. The only one I got some paperwork that I've left the courtroom with. I haven't got papers of the same case where
Okay, we're looking.
It was back in August of 2008.
And when was, the temporary was in September, so that can't be.
He got it. He has a different one. The one that I have doesn't expire. Yeah, his is in April. The one I have is August.
Of the same year. So his is in April, and it's good for a year. Then in August, they did a permanent one.
Right.
And your paperwork says that that August one was served on him in August.
Yes, Your Honor. I have his signature on it.
You have his signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great, show him.
That's your signature. That's hers.
All right. I thought when the injunction was done, when everything was over, it was over. That's what we both were under the compression of.
All right, so now you're going to talk to his ex to see if she's fearful of anything.
Correct. And it'd be great if we could have her phone number because the one that I have is blocked by a stamp. So if we don't have to say it on the record.
Turn it on, step outside.
Certainly.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
Just so I can
Actually, I
have
can
it.
give you her house phone number.
That's
I know
fine.
that right off the bat. 386.
If I'm not sure how long it would take with everything else that's going on.
Well, that will save him from having to make another trip.
Could we do his PNC by phone?
That's a good idea.
That'd be great because I live in
Okay.
Deltona. I'm fixing to move to Inverness right
Okay, defendant is present. He's entering a not guilty plea. We're setting it for PNC and sentencing. PNC would be, we'll give you a date in just a moment,
February 26th.
February 26, 2013, 9 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am.
9 a.m. Defendant may call in. He must appear for sentencing if it goes that far, and that is
March 11th
March 11th.
at 1:30.
2013, 1:30. All right, may call in, and I'm writing this phone number down.
Yeah, she was planning
Okay,
on coming.
stop. Mr. Sandor, that was a great idea. We're going to make sure she's okay with it, and then the state is willing to drop it, even though technically you're guilty. The state is still willing to look at it and perhaps drop it. So when you call us on February 26th, we'll say, okay, we're dropping it, or we'll say, they found out this, this, and this, and they're not dropping it, and then you have to come back on March the 11th. Mr. Sandor, great idea, thank you.
Thank you.
Richard McCreary, please. Mr. McCreary, you're charged with driving while your license is suspended. It was suspended for not making some kind of payment. No, insurance. You were suspended because your insurance lapsed. Do you have insurance now and a driver's license now?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you show the prosecutor, please?
Donna, he has shown proof of a valid driver's license.
How much did you have to pay to get that back at the driver's license office?
$150 reinstatement fee.
Okay, so you did have to reinstate.
Yeah, subsequent to the date of the he did obtain valid insurance, and he does have insurance at this time.
All right, and this is his 5th.
Yes, Your Honor.
But all of them were more than 5 years ago, so it won't habitualize. If you get 3 driving while license suspendeds in a 5-year period, you can lose your license for 5 years. This would be your first one in this 5-year period, and the state's recommendation is?
Your Honor, it's an adjudication of guilt. It's payment of a $200 fine and no new crimes. These conditions to be completed within the next 180 days. If he fails to complete these conditions, it would convert to 29 days in the Lake County Jail. He does have another open case, but if he is adjudicated on that case, it wouldn't kick in this order of commitment since it was prior.
I don't have.
It's a felony.
Okay. All right, we have a deal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yellow sticky, and I filled out some of it. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Jonathan Sancho.
Good morning.
Mr. Sancho, you're charged with leaving the scene without giving information. There was a capias issued because you didn't show up in court January 22nd for that case.
Yes, ma'am. I wasn't notified until January 22nd. I had first-class mail at the post office.
Did you get arrested for it, or you just came in today? How did you know?
I just came in today.
How did you know to come in today?
The mail was sent to the post office, and I guess my old address.
How did you know to come here?
I got a letter on Monday saying that
To
I
come
had
to courtroom 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he hasn't been arrested on the, and he's supposed to be in front of Judge Baxley. Okay, so this was very brave of you to come today. We're not going to do the capias. We're going to withdraw the capias. Okay. And then you have a careless driving and a leaving the scene. This is really Judge Baxley's case, but Mr. Sandor, if we can handle it today, let's.
Yes, I believe Ms. Hunt sent me this as an add-on yesterday, so the state's prepared. State's offer is an adjudication of guilt. It's payment of a $200 fine and no new crimes. These conditions to be completed within the next 180 days. If he fails to complete these conditions, it would convert to 29 days in the Lake County Jail.
Say it again. Suspended sentence.
$200.
$200.
No new crimes.
And no new crimes. That sounds like a... All right, then you're charged with careless driving, which you apparently hit a car and kept going.
It was a mailbox, ma'am.
Hit a mailbox and kept going.
Yeah. It's taken care of, though. It's replaced. And
How did you replace it? After you got the ticket, you went back and talked to them?
It's my family member's neighbor. So I gave my uncle the money, and he spoke to the neighbor, and he was fine with it as long as I replaced it.
But it looks like you wouldn't have bothered replacing it if you hadn't been caught.
It was New Year's morning, and it was like midnight. I didn't want to. And then my car, after hitting the mailbox, I hit a curve too, so my tie rod and my car was all messed up. It was just a bad situation.
Hey, it sounds like we have concerns that there may have been alcohol involved. So it is what it is. You're going to take the offer. We don't have to go to the alcohol issue. This was careless driving. You swear under oath or affirmation the mailbox has been taken care of.
Yes, ma'am.
You had, let me double check before I say that. You've had a speeding ticket before, but nothing else like this. So no contest, I'll withhold the points. It's $166 and you have until August 1st to pay. If you don't pay, you get suspended.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a deal on that one too?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty.
Thank you.
Scott Thomas Paradise, please.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Paradise. I saw you in September and sentenced you on a marijuana and paraphernalia charge and told you no new law violations. Then you are now charged for leaving the scene of an accident with property damage. Another mailbox? What? I don't have anything.
Simon, I present.
What?
I have something to present to the court, may I?
Why didn't you call the police?
My cell phone was dead.
No, you called your mother.
Well, the policeman was already there. I used the officer's phone that was on site. Used his cell phone.
Oh, I misread. I thought it said the office's phone. Okay, could you share this with Mr. Sandor, please?
Thank you, Mr. Boone.
Could you sit down as close as you can get to the microphone while Mr. Sandor reads it over, please? Mr. Sandor, do you have one we should go back to?
I've reviewed Mr. Paradise's letter and the PC affidavit. At this time, the state's not ready to dismiss or amend. That doesn't mean we won't in the future. There needs to be more investigation as to that. As far as his order of commitment, he hasn't completed any of his conditions, hasn't paid any of the fine or the court costs. He does have until March to complete all of those conditions, so it is theoretically possible that he does have enough time if they don't recommend any treatment or anything like that. But he hasn't we have no proof that he started anything with regard to the outstanding case from 2012.
So, Mr. Paradise, where's Mr. Paradise? Where's Mr. Paradise? Okay, Mr. Paradise, the best I'll do for you today is enter a not guilty plea. I won't sign the order of commitment today. We'll see you at PNC and sentence. Do you want me to appoint the public defender? Or you want? You want to get a private attorney? Can you afford a private attorney?
Yeah,
Private attorney?
yes, I will.
All right, we're going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf today, and we're going to investigate a little further. I may end up signing the order of commitment, and if you come back next time and you haven't had a clean screen.
Oh, I have. I can bring that up back later today if need be.
Well, duh, why haven't you turned that into the traffic window?
I didn't know it was going to be an issue. My mistake.
Well,
Get those conditions completed.
you need to get with those conditions. Because if you haven't done a clean screen, next time I see you, it'll be too late. Because you won't have 30 days to get a second one.
I have, and I'm scheduled in 13 days to.
So you say, I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
We're entering a not guilty plea, PNC, and sentencing, and I'm not, put a sticky to return to PNC. I'm not signing it yet. I didn't ignore it. I'm not signing it yet.